This first burger has been inspired by Chef David Lee. It is gluten-free and vegan. So those are some pretty good ingredients there. The first thing I will say though is that I definitely needed to change the amount of certain ingredients in order to make this recipe work. So pretty simple, take all the ingredients together and add them to the food processor and process them together so that way they're able to form into a burger patty. Now I did start off with just adding the whole mushroom into the food processor first, rather than chopping that up. That made the mushroom a little bit more minced, and then I added the other ingredients to just bring everything else together. There was absolutely no way this burger was going to work. These ingredients combined, they just made a pile of mush. So what I did was I adapted the amount of oatmeal and increased that by quite a bit actually. And that allowed the oatmeal to soak up some of the extra moisture that was making these patties more of a kind of mush pile rather than being able to form into that burger patty shape. I think that this recipe had some of the right ideas in the sense that it needed some oatmeal, because the oatmeal definitely acts as an agent to kind of help combine everything together and help kind of firm up the other ingredients. The flavors were good. I liked that in there. The black bean was good. That kind of also helped kind of bind the burger patty together. It's gluten-free and it's vegan, right? So that's obviously a plus as well. However, when it really comes down to it, to me, this is a black bean patty. It is not a beef replacement in the sense that it doesn't taste like a burger per se as much as it does a black bean patty that is mixed in with some other ingredients. So I could certainly see myself having this again, but it's certainly not going to be my choice and my recommendation to go with, because even when you cook it and even when I add in the extra oatmeal, it gets a nice crunchiness on the outside, which is fantastic, but the inside is still left pretty soft. And that texture needs to work its way all the way through. And so, unfortunately, this burger by Chef David Lee is not my top burger choice. Okay, so this second burger that I made is also gluten-free and vegan. 2 thumbs up there. The recipe is coming from Love and Lemons. I have certainly adapted this a bit to, in my mind, make it work out a little bit better. So we have some good ingredients there. However, I can tell you right off the start, the measurements from the recipe that I found are absolutely, they absolutely don't work. So I have definitely had to modify that in order to make this recipe even work and form into a patty. So obviously this recipe has a little bit more maintenance to it than the first. You can see that you have to prep up some of the vegetables and you have to saute up the vegetables. That's going to help remove some of the liquid that is existing and the water existing in these ingredients. And then you also have to combine the other flavors, the other wet ingredients to that saute pan. That's going to allow you to get the flavor from those ingredients, but also to dissolve some of that liquid, because this recipe combines a lot of liquid that when you take any binding or any solid and you add too much liquid, it is not shapeable, it's not moldable, it's just going to fall apart, it's going to turn into a more runny substance, and you need this recipe to remove as much liquid as possible in order to even begin shaping this into patties. So as I was trying to mold these burger patties, it wasn't working out at all. And so I had to add in more of the panko breadcrumbs in order to make this thicken up and form into a patty. It almost felt like I was making like a savory Rice Krispie treat with all of the breadcrumbs. However, by adding them, I was able to get these patties into a decent burger shape, and then be able to move into the cooking process. So these burgers were pretty crumbly. They were easy to fall apart, and the flavor is pretty fishy. So this kind of really reminded me more of something that you might use to make like a fish burger, because you have flaxseed, tamari, and mushroom. Right? And so to me, tamari and mushroom right there, like that automatically is gonna kind of scream out like, hey, this is gonna have a bit of a fishy, seafoody kind of taste to it. And when it comes to making a burger, I'm not gonna use tamari. And if you're gonna use those other ingredients, then something's got to go away in order to make it not have a fishy note to it. So, you know, hey, if you're looking for a fish burger, this might be the perfect recipe for you. However, make sure that you like quadruple the amount of breadcrumbs, because otherwise you won't get it into a burger shape. So this recipe, like I said, vegan, gluten-free, made by Leffen Lemons. It's not my favorite burger. You might be able to get away with adding the right kind of barbecue sauce to it. That might help with some of the kind of fishiness to it. But I'm definitely going to stay more so far with the Gardein burger patties at this point in time, and continue my journey of making the best vegan burger patties, so that way you all can have a option of what kind of burger patty you want to use in your burgers at home. It's one-stop shop from my channel. You get to figure out what all of these burgers taste like, get to see them in action and see what you can do with them, rather than having to go out and watch anything else. You can watch it all right here, what I tasted, and learn the best way to go about making the vegan meats that you can use in all of your recipes.